So a very good afternoon and welcome to this program of Thyrotherapy. Thyrotherapy is a program that we've started as a venture for bringing holistic well-being with all those who have been with the thyroid condition. So in this 1 hour, I'm going to kind of give you an overview and an understanding of what is it or what is the concept behind this thyrotherapy, what is it going to offer to you, and what is it that is the scope that you can have with your condition that you are feeling not at ease right now, whether it is hyperthyroid, whether it is hypothyroid, or any allied condition of thyroid. There are many of them these days. So I'm going to take you through this whole presentation, which is about giving you a very detailed understanding. Some of you and most of you, I believe, would be on some treatment. Can you just raise hand if someone who is not on any treatment of thyroid condition? All right, Shirley. Anyone who has not been any medication? So I assume all of you who have condition have been undertaking some treatment, and the treatment most of the time is hormonal treatment, which is the most popular and the conventional line of treatment. We are looking to now know a little more about the thyroid condition vis-a-vis what it is doing in our body, because I believe everyone has a right to understand their condition which is not at ease with them. Because after all, it's your body. If you will not understand your condition, who would understand? So I'm going to take you through a little bit of even understanding about the thyroid, its function, and the program of thyrotherapy is going to take you a little more beyond understanding the condition of the thyroid in the body by way of anatomy and its functioning to what brings the disorder. What if you would know that? What caused your condition? How easy it would be to really treat yourself? Yes or no? I want some noise.
Yes.
Yes. So it's about getting to know about your condition so well. And one of the ways is going through your own understanding of what brings it to you or what caused it. So let me share with you the program that I'm starting now, and you're free to ask questions at the end of the presentation. In between, during the presentation, if you feel there is a certain complex word, you can call out to me and I will pause it at that moment, because there's no point in just going on. But I'll try to go as slowly and maybe as simply so that it gets easier for all of you. So as we begin, let me share. Is everyone able to see the screen? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So thyrotherapy is a holistic wellness approach to the treatment of thyroid condition, and the belief for all of us who are on this end, who are going to offer you this project or this program and the treatment, we believe that you can heal your thyroid disease. And we aim that even you carry this belief at the end of this program. So welcome once again. It's a mind-body healing of thyroid disease with the integrated clinical hypnotherapy approach. And it's going to be a holistic, complementary approach for the ongoing treatment that you have, which means two aspects. One, what we're going to offer to you is working with your mind. Can someone help me to mute?
Done, I've muted.
So this project has been to bring you to an understanding that the condition of thyroid that each one of us and so many of us, and I think the survey talks about majority of the population, around 3/4 of the population has somebody or the other having some condition with thyroid. So the mind-body approach to thyroid disease is going to involve working with your mind first and to notice its consequential effect in the body. and we will understand why. So it's a complementary approach, which means we are not here to withdraw any medications as the program goes, as the treatment goes with the hypnotherapy. We ask you to continue with it, and we will have a systematic follow-up to follow up even after our program, our project, to see how it is giving you as a output or a consequence even at your body level at the thyroid functioning. So the aim and the vision of this thyrotherapy is about bringing emotional and mental well-being. That's very essential. When we talk of disease, disease is not being at ease. And when we talk of being at ease, is being our own well-being, well-being with our own self. And what we forget when we are with the diseases that are diagnosed is that we forget there's something to do with our emotional and the mental outlook with the disease and what has caused the disease. So we're aiming towards bringing mental well-being and emotional well-being. Some of you would say, yeah, we are well, but we will explore to what brings on the disease of the thyroid, and we will understand how the mind and the body are connected. And we are also looking to bring you relief from the symptoms of thyroid disorder. So most of you are aware that you would have got diagnosed with some symptoms, which could be anything to do with maybe slowness, fatigue, maybe bloating, maybe obesity, constipation, dryness of skin, and a whole lot of things. Or it could be accompanied as just a part of your routine investigation. And you suddenly find, oh, this is happening to me. And then you will recognize and correlate with the symptoms that you've been going over a period of time. So we are looking to even bring you relief from your physical symptoms. And of course, last but not the least, the optimal functioning of the thyroid, which means correlating with the investigations. So all of you would have your investigations, whether T3, T4, TSH, and the other required criteria are not fulfilling in the normal range. So our aim is to bring the emotional mental well-being, relief from the symptoms, and of course, looking at our reports to say, wow, it's all over and done. So that's what we're looking for. And as the focus is more on the emotional mental well-being, because we are going to explore the holistic approach to thyroid treatment, a key focus will be bringing inner transformation with the thyroid condition, because our inner reality creates the outer reality. I think most of us have been aware of this to some extent. We've heard it. We will, in the next few slides, learn about it a little, how it is. So how are we going to bring this inner transformation? With improving the self-esteem, self-worth, improving our relationships. Our life is governed by three aspects: how we feel in the body, which is our health, how are our relationships, and how are we feeling with our external world, vis-a-vis our work, our vocation, our career, and very important, are we really connected to ourselves? In the moment you are at ease and you are in the space of well-being, you have a very different vitality. You feel so much being yourself and you're able to operate the best. And that's what we're looking to focus, achieve the inner transformation with thyroid condition, which is by improving the self-esteem, interpersonal relationships, increasing your productivity, whatever is your area of vocation. Even if you are a homemaker, or you are a corporate executive, or you are a teacher, or you are an architect, whichever field that, and effective self-expression. We will discuss this in a while. And reconnecting to core essence, basically who we are as a being, and are we really enjoying being in our life, in our body? That's the focus. Well, interestingly, has anybody thought like this? Were we really born with an abnormal thyroid? Is anybody here who has been born with a condition that the thyroid is not functioning? Most of us, and almost all here at least, have been born with a relatively normal thyroid functioning. But something happened, and we don't know what happened, or sometimes we know it, that led to the disorder in the thyroid functioning. Something happened that took the functioning of the thyroid off the balance. and that led to the thyroid disease. So let's examine it. Generally, whenever we are having a condition like, disease which is diagnosed, and then most of the times we want to figure out, how did this happen? Why did this happen? What caused the disorder? What caused the disease? Because that's how you're going to begin to fix the disease. The one way that you fix the disease is going to the doctor and taking the medication, which is very good. But now, with the advances in neuroscience, in the psychoneuroendocrine immunology, the focus and the approach to disease treatment is now getting more expansive, so that it's possible to look at the disease not through the microscope or not through the investigation scope, but even through looking beyond. And so the next thing that we think is, okay, what have I not been eating well? What is the deficiency? Is there a chemical imbalance? These are the factors that are known to be contributing to thyroid. So people would talk about iodine deficiency. There is definitely a substantial research done with respect to iodine deficiency, and some areas where there is iodine deficiency, where children have been having this swelling in the neck, which is called as goiter, and sometimes even older people, there are certain chemical imbalances. This is the most that many of the conventional doctors would explain about. But are you aware? I think many of you would be aware now, because there's a lot of awareness about the mind-body approach to healing. And before we go to the mind-body approach to healing, I would first want you to take you through a little understanding about your own condition. Because before I venture into the mind-body approach, how about knowing your thyroid gland as to how does it look like? Where is it there in the body? I think most of us are aware. Google is our great reference. Yet, despite that, I thought it would be nice to share with you. This is how your thyroid gland looks. It's such a tiny gland perched here, just below your Adam's apple, around that. And it's like a butterfly shaped. Isn't it interesting? And butterfly is known to be, or a symbolism of transformation. And that's what your thyroid gland does to you in many other ways by its function. It's an endocrine gland, which means it is something which is inside. What is endo meaning inside? Crine means secretion. So the gland is secreting chemicals which are being sent out in the blood all over the body. As against endocrine gland, there is an exocrine gland. The exocrine glands are secreting and they are focused only in a limited area of the body. The endocrine glands are the ones that are known to be having its impact all over the body. There are such 12 endocrine glands, out of which majority of them are in close proximity to our spine. And you might have heard about the adrenal gland, which is close to the lower part of the body. Then comes the gonads. Then comes the pancreas, which is again close to the pit of the stomach. Then there's the thymus gland, which is connected to the immune system regulation. And it's somewhere close to our, chest, upper part of the chest. Then there is the thyroid gland, which is perched here. And that's very close to this area that you're already seeing it. And these are interestingly very close to certain other aspects which are not visible clearly, and they are called as chakras or the energy vortex in the body. And I'll come to that in some time. Now, we also know the thyroid gland, because of, by the way it is called as an endocrine gland, has extensive impact on our entire body, because it's the one that regulates our metabolism, which is why many people with thyroid gland have slowness in function if they have hypothyroid. Hypo is low, hyper is more. Now, what is low? Low T3, T4. And if it is high T3, T4, it is hyper, right? And interestingly, it's correlating to your basal metabolic rate. So if there are low levels of thyroid hormones, then it lowers down the metabolism. You feel very slow in your activity. You feel very lazy. You feel low energy, feel lethargy. And it also impacts the growth and the development of the human body from childhood. So children who are, or those who have younger age, very primary, when it's development of it, it's rightly called as, that time is developing the entire body structure, and that's where the child gets affected with it. We have yet to have a lot of people who have to have malfunctioning right from childhood, because now we have sufficient nutritional requirements which has been filled during the formative years. So we don't really find this much as an affection, but much more in the later age. The bone maintenance is another area, the brain development, and overall it maintains the homeostasis, a harmonious functioning in the body, because when you feel thyroid is functioning normal, overall your energy levels, all the main important organs are functioning well, and the overall functioning is in a very good space. It's like your state government and central government are doing a good job. Then overall the whole country and the state is functioning normally. If there are certain local malfunctioning happening, then they get reported to local police station. So this is what your thyroid has an impact in your body. Now, if we look at thyroid, which is impacting the whole human body, and it is also about our human growth and development, we need to know what sustains our human life and our human body. Again, if you see what sustains our life force, the spiritual energy, let me go from below up, the prana that you breathe in and out. And we also, what we take in is the food and what we live and believe. These are the three sources of energy to any human system. What you eat, what you think, and what you breathe. Now, if we have been eating relatively nourishing food, nutritionally rich food, which is what we are given through from childhood, and we grow well thanks to our development of the thyroid gland, then the functioning is more or less good. But despite having good consumption of whatever that needs to be taken up for the thyroid gland and other requirements, as much as the prana is more or less in place, we still have some issue with the thyroid gland, and there's definitely something to look into the thoughts and the emotions that are impacting us. The reason, because our thyroid gland is a part of a very intricate system in the body, which is the biomedical system. When we talk of, there are so many systems, the cardiovascular system, the digestive system, the excretory system, and all these systems are intricately connected. They are balancing each other. If you may have seen how these different functions, different systems, the circulatory, the digestive, the nervous system, the skeletal system, and the excretory system, they are all connected. They are in a very natural balance, which is called as homeostasis. That natural balance happens through the nervous system and through the hormonal system. And the beautiful part is, just as all our gadgets are in an auto feedback, now our refrigerator is in an auto regulated, our washing machines are auto regulated, our temperatures in the system that we live are auto regulated. The same way, this body has a very beautiful auto feedback regulatory system. This is how it functions. If you see this, can you see the hypothalamus, which is in the brain? And then there is this pituitary gland, which has TRH, and then there is TSH, and there is thyroid gland, which is influenced by the TSH, which in turn secretes all these hormones. Now, all these hormones have a interconnecting system, which means the thyroid gland, which secretes thyroid hormone, when it sends out in the blood, it sends out the information to the hypothalamus and the pituitary that everything is functioning fine. But the moment the thyroid gland goes down in the body, then there is a feedback mechanism. Can you see the arrow?
Huh? How long will your classes be for? I don't know yet.
Mute. So when the thyroid hormone is low in the system, it sends out a feedback mechanism. If you follow the arrow, it gives the feedback to the brain and then to the pituitary gland. And that's how they start balancing it out, which is why you would see there's increased TSH when there is hypothyroid. But there is hypothyroid, free T3, T4 is low, your TSH is high, and then it is also constantly giving a feedback mechanism. So there is a regulatory feedback mechanism that keeps happening all the time in our body. So the hypothalamus is the one that sends the information from the hormonal system to the nervous system in the brain that something is not okay. So everything is like one chain. It is intricately connected. The hypothalamus sends the information to the pituitary sends to the thyroid affects the body. The moment the body pays the price, it keeps sending back the negative feedback mechanism to all the other glands. Now, this only means that the system is so intricately connected, not just at the nervous and the hormonal system, but even at the level of the body and the mind. And let's understand how is that happening. So let's talk about the mind and the body. How is it working? If we all are here right now with our physical bodies, with the way we are sitting, is our behavior. This behavior is because you didn't just sit here, you thought about it, you got a message from somewhere that there is this program, you are interested is a thought, and your inclination to do something about it got you into being interested and feeling the thought makes worthwhile to be there in the program. And then you go and kind of get yourself to find out a way, put your energy into executing to being here. So anything that is there at the body and the behavior is thanks to the thought, which in turn gives rise to an emotion, or an emotion and thought are all the time connected. The emotion drives you, and then you get a thought that I need to do this, because you have so many thoughts, but only the thought that you are feeling so drawn to will now culminate into you taking an activity. That activity is influenced through the energy meridians in the body, and that's how you have a tangible reality. Now, this is exactly how a thyroid functioning in the system works, or the thyroid impacting the body is thanks to some thought or emotion that continues to flow in a certain direction. A certain persistent thought or a certain persistent feeling starts influencing certain energy vortex. Now, the energy vortex are the chakras, which are called as in the Sanskrit language chakra, because they are chakra, which are wheels like. And they are all situated in close proximity to your skeleton. That is the vertebral column. Yeah, in the vertebral column, which is having in close proximity all these chakras, and the chakra of the Vishuddhi chakra is in close proximity to the thyroid gland. Now, each of these chakras have a certain function. These functions are influenced by the thought and the emotion, which are constantly there in our system, which in turn makes the functioning of the chakra either hyper or hypo, which in turn starts influencing your body. If you know, go from below down, because most of the times we are not aware of it. We are only aware of the body functioning in a certain manner, right? And we are looking to plug or fix the body situations or symptoms by dealing the body at that level. It's as good as, let's say, if you are sitting in this room, right? Wherever you are sitting and there is a leakage from one of the wall, and you see the water seeping it from one corner of the wall. Now, since you're sitting here and your attention went there, the first thing that you will do immediately is to plug it. That's a very natural thing, because it will start spilling and spoiling your furniture. But then if you really find time later during the day, you will think about it, that is this going to be sufficient? Or maybe if it keeps happening again and again, because that thing that you applied there, like maybe some cement that you applied to plug it, is not supporting it enough. The reason, because there would be something beyond that crack in that wall has caused the crack. And you would be interested to figure it out. Is there something from the top floor? And then probably you will go and check from somebody there. So it's going beyond the body and exploring whether something is not okay at that level. Now, if that is not okay in the top floor, what exactly has gone wrong? So you will find, okay, somebody up there who has a washroom there and it's leaking. So you need to go and plug that. So perhaps you would suggest this guy, why don't you go and do that? And then you realize after a few days, even that's not working, because he says, I have done everything what is required, but something is still not okay. Something is still probably getting a leakage for his structure as well. And then you will find out that since this is a new structure, and it was a new structure which didn't have many regulations, so people were going up and down because when they were doing the interiors of their house, and the heavy duty furniture was being taken up and down to the topmost floor. And what has happened is there has been a great big crack or a fracture in some top floor where the main pillar is, and perhaps that pillar is giving some kind of a vibration and creating this kind of a leakage. So which means sometimes, or many a times, just finding the issue at the level of periphery, what is the tangible reality, may not be sufficient. What is required is to go beyond to where it happened. And in our body, there's something beyond the body, which is the chakras, which are at the interface of the mind and the body. Many of us would have done the aura photography, which can capture these chakras. Now, these chakras are basically only energy columns, or they are these like chakras or wheels which are flowing in a certain direction. It's as good as the power supply to our glands, the glands which are in close proximity to the vertebral column. So the chakras are in close proximity to the glands, and these glands are the endocrine glands. The endocrine glands are the factories which are known to produce the chemical hormones, which are kind of supplying whatever is needed for the entire system. So whenever there is an issue at the level of body, especially when it comes to thyroid, there is an affliction of certain chakra corresponding to that. Most of the times it is the Vishuddhi chakra because it's in close proximity. Each of these chakras are in connection with each other. At the same time, they are in turn influenced by thoughts and emotions, because chakras tend to get affected by the flow of the energy which is coming beyond from your thoughts and your emotions. The thoughts and emotions consistently over a period of time are known to influence the flow of the energy through that chakra, and which in turn starts disrupting the flow through those chakras, the Vishuddhi chakra, and gives rise to the thyroid gland. Now, this is how the thyroid gland goes into a malfunctioning. So we are now talking about how your thoughts are influencing the emotions, which in turn are influencing the flow of the energy through their chakras, which in turn are influencing your body and the behavior, which is infecting the immune system. So this is very well correlated and very well validated by the psycho-neuroendocrine immunology. It's a new branch in the medical world, which is talking about how the psyche influences your nervous system, which is the hypothalamus, which is where it is connected to, which in turn, which is influenced by the emotions, is now affected by the endocrine gland, which is the thyroid, and the thyroid gland, which is influencing the entire body and the behavior. So this is how your thyroid malfunctioning happens. It happens thanks to a certain thought pattern or an emotional pattern, which is in turn continuously over a period of time influencing the flow of energy through the chakras. And that chakra, especially the Vishuddhi chakra, which in turn influence every other chakras, and you start feeling, it is influencing the entire body as much as it starts influencing and impacting the thyroid gland functioning. So when we are looking to work with the thyroid gland, we are looking to work through all those levels and not just fixing or working or restoring the thyroid hormone in the body. And that explains the role of the mind in the development of the disease. because it's now a proven fact that the mind and the body are the two sides of the same coin. When we talk of physiology, which is the normal functioning of the body, are you aware when the physiology is being developed, which means your brain is being developed in the formative years, the neuroscience has established the fact that the way you think and feel is wiring your neural system. So it's a very validated, well-established fact by the neuroscience that your neurons, as they fire based on how you think and how you feel. And your formative years of thinking and feeling and belief system influences how your brain develops, and how your brain develops further influences how you kind of be in your body, which in turn continuously sends out a certain kind of an immunology and a neural system as well as an endocrine system, and then they are feeding onto each other. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you live, and the way you believe, they're all interconnected. So your physiology and psychology are connected. So if there is a deranged functioning of the physiology, which is pathology, it's also getting affected by psychology. It becomes pathopsychology, though we don't find such pathological conditions when it comes to mind, because we have not really paid the price at the level of mind so much, because our mind has a savior in the body. We will learn how that happens. And the mind and the body are so interconnected that the mental health somewhere starts influencing the physical health. Haven't you experienced that when you are not physically healthy, your mental health is also not in good space? You feel irritated, you don't feel very charged, right? And even vice versa, when you are not mentally healthy, your physical health is not okay. So much of I would say popularity has now been given to mental health that people don't realize that the physical health and mental health are interrelated. They're the two sides of the same coin. The holistic wellness approach to the well-being is all about having spirit, mind, and body in alignment. And that's what we're looking through thyrotherapy, to find your well-being, to be at ease at all levels. When I say all levels, emotionally, mentally, physically, as much as spiritually. Because the moment you find your mind and body syncing, you at the level of spirit, at the level of your soul, start feeling so aligned with even everything outside that you can feel yourself being much more at ease, full of vitality, which in turn aligns you to a core essence. How many times have you seen that, when you are in a very good working environment and you find this is my core passion, this is my purpose, and you feel everything is aligned. But at the same time, if you're not in that very, very harmonious environment, whether it's home or whether it's in your working space, or you're not happy being with what you're doing, you somewhere feel at some part of your body you're not at ease. It may be thyroid, it may not be, but just check next time whenever you feel that, or someone who's saying, no, I'm not at peace with myself, somewhere they're not able to connect to their core essence. And that's what we're looking for, this holistic approach through holistic wellness. And one of the things that we're looking to approach is through thyroid gland, because thyroid gland is supposed to be the gland that works at all levels. Interestingly, it's also called as the personality hormone. It also has a shape of a butterfly. So it's something has a very transformative way, even at the level of physiological functioning. So the first thing that we're looking to address to people and population at large is how can we really help people to get in touch, to find their well-being at all levels, even if they have a condition of thyroid. And for which, let's explore a little bit about who am I. I need to see, if everybody is here enjoying or getting what we are talking. So I'll just stop sharing for a while and I want to meet each one of you here. Is everyone here in sync with what we are discussing? Or is anyone finding it difficult? Can you raise hands? It would be nice to know if anyone is finding it, or maybe language, or maybe the speed. Is everything okay? Can I have a thumbs up from, yes, thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Edel. Hi, Sharda. Is it going well? Okay, because we are now entering into the realm of understanding a little more, which is more to do with metaphysics. Physics is physical health or physical reality of us. And we now step into the mental reality, the psychological reality, a spiritual reality, or the reality of who we are. So let's explore a little more about this. So who am I? Can anyone tell me, who are you? If I have to ask you, who are you? Of course, you would say, I'm a human being. And as a human being, if we really have to know ourselves, and at the end of the day, a human being has a body, mind, and we have spirit or a life force or a soul. And when we talk about who we are made of or what are we made of, do we all agree that we are all energy? Because when we die, the body gets cremated, the brain gets cremated as a part of the body. What happens to the mind? What happens to the life force? There's a part of it that goes back to wherever it was with the brain, and there's some part remains. We're going to discuss that. So, in other words, if you really look within and know within, each of us is an energy being, is an infinite energy. And when we are alive, that means when we have the life force, we have the spirit, we have the mind, we have the body. And we just spoke about we being at ease and well-being is to be at alignment or be in alignment with spirit, mind, and body. And when we are not at ease, there is misalignment of the spirit, mind, and body. Now, what is it that could help us to be in alignment? Because that's what we're looking at. We understood how the mind influences the body. We know spirit by itself is the soul, the life force, which is the part of the super consciousness. There is nothing as such malfunctioning of the soul that we have ever heard. I don't think if anybody has heard about it. So what remains to be looked at to identify the cause or the trigger of the issue in the body is either in the mind or the body. Also, there's very important one thing. We talk about ease and well-being by understanding through our mind. What is it to be in alignment? To be in alignment is to be in the moment to moment synchronicity with the spirit, mind, and body. So let's say if we as a human being is a system, body is a hardware, mind is the software, and the spirit or the life force is the source or the supply. And now that we are looking to understand the spirit, mind, body alignment, the spirit by itself is the super consciousness, is the energy flow, which is all the time in peace, in alignment to itself. When we're talking about human system, and human system has one quality, that it grows. And how does it grow? It grows in size, it grows in age. We grow in a certain manner, and we know by the age, that is, this is the age that I am. So let's say if I ask any one of you, how old are you? Let's say if I ask Shirley, because I see her, so Shirley would say, I am 45 years old. So who's 45 years old? Is the spirit 45-year-old, the mind's 45-year-old, the body 45-year-old? Or all of them? It's the body which is 45-year-old. At a given time, you cannot disprove the age of the body, because there are experiments which are done with the carbon dating experiments, and you would be able to correlate that this is exactly what the age of the body is, and you can't deny it. It's indisputable fact. As against that, we also know spirit by itself, the life force, has no age. It is eternal, right? So what remains is the mind. The mind as a software with the body as a hardware and of a certain age is not constantly aligned. Have you noticed that at a given age or at a given moment, to be more precise, are we all the time at the same age of that body? There are times, by way of our thoughts and emotions and feelings, we are not being the age. We sometimes feel what we feel from what we have felt as a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or maybe a 25-year-old or a 50-year-old. And that software keeps getting misaligned with the body. And the moment you can bring in alignment to that, the spirit, mind, and body just falls in alignment, which means you're being present in the body from moment to moment to moment. And that's what we're looking to aim. The moment you have this alignment, you are at peace, you are at ease, and you are almost at completely in presence with yourself. So what is it that takes over? The mind that keeps thinking and feeling is what kind of takes the control over the body and does not let the body be where it is. And here is what we would like to now understand from a hypnotherapist perspective, how the mind works. The mind is like an energy field. This is almost like a graphical representation of the mind. The mind has around 10 to 15% of conscious mind. The active mind that we keep thinking, feeling, analyzing, logicizing all the time. So what about the remaining 80-90% is the subconscious mind, which has all the experiences which are stored from the time that you are born up till now. Now, this is what forms the mind. Most of the people understand mind as either a thinking, analytical, and a logical mind, but we also have a mind which is extensively big, almost 9 times bigger than the logical thinking and feeling mind, which is the subconscious mind. And interestingly, these two parts of the mind, they are interlinked because the subconscious mind is operating from the experiences, the database of experiences coming from this life. So we have memories of this life from the time that you're born and even many times past lives. Some of us may not remember it, but in our unconscious mind, these records are already there. So what remains with us when we are a walking, talking body is not just what you're thinking and processing. Because if you would have thought and processed enough, your thinking and analytical and logical mind would have thought enough positively to bring yourself out of the uneasiness that you are going through in your life, in whichever area of your life. If there are issues that you're facing in your workplace, if there are issues that you're facing in your family or even with your own self, you would have really talked yourself out. But it doesn't happen because there's this 90% of the mind which takes over your conscious mind and does not allow you to think and feel even if you want to, because that is how you have habituated yourself. Most of us have a habit of thinking and feeling in a certain way. We all have a different way of relating. That's how it makes each one of us different and unique. So who we are is very unique because somewhere when we are born, we are not born with a thinking mind. We are born with the unconscious mind, which is the primitive mind, which have memories. And then from 0 to 8 years, somewhere the diagram is not having this, but I want to just bring it to your awareness. The 0 to 8 years is the critical subconscious and the conscious mind, is where the formation of who you are as a personality is now getting to start setting. So how has been your environment in your growing formative years? Starts making into how you think, how you feel, and your belief system starts coming into place. And these belief systems are there in this critical mind, which becomes your basic software. So let's say if the mind by itself is a supercomputer, then the conscious mind is your CPU. This is your processing mind that you're all the time processing with. And your subconscious mind is your hard disk, which is all the database. But this critical filter, which is having the conscious and the subconscious, is basically the time which is where your mind is being formed thanks to all the inputs that are coming from the socio-economic, educational, religious inputting. So how your family environment have been, how people have been treating you, how you felt being loved, how you felt being treated, how you feel about money, how you feel about health, how you are taken care of, every aspect of your living, whether it is social, intersocial, interpersonal, whether it is how you relate with money, how you relate with your value of yourself, value other people, is all being ingrained in the formative years from 0 to 8 years. In other words, it becomes the belief system, formation, time of your life, the basic software. Now, once you grow in those formative years, those thinking, feeling, you remember I told you some time back that how you think and you feel is how it wires your nervous system, your brain. And your brain has your hypothalamus, which in turn influences your pituitary gland, which is connecting to how your thyroid gland is also sending out the thyroid hormone. All this starts getting to developed because all this is a part of the intricate hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid axis. Now, this intricate system is already getting influenced in the formative years, which means your childhood programs your personality, and your personality slowly as you grow after 8 years becomes your personal reality because you start viewing your life through that belief system. So how you think about other people, how you think about yourself. And slowly as circumstances come after 8 years, and maybe as you grow further as an adult, and by the time we are adult, we have rules here in the conscious mind, and we have experiences in the subconscious mind. So by the time you're adult, your personal reality is a result of your personality that you have formed in the childhood. So you start viewing everybody from there. It becomes the way you start filter out people in your life or relationships, or how you filter up with regards to everything your experience is giving to you. So you either think either good enough, or you don't feel good enough, or you feel it is really, really not working for you, or it's working for you. And in that manner, you have your own rules. This is how it should be. And then you have your experiences. This is how it is. And when the rules and the experience starts having a gap, rules are in the conscious mind, the experiences are in the subconscious mind. When the gap starts coming in, you are not at peace. You are not at ease. And that's where slowly the disease starts coming into your life. Any disease for that matter. We are talking about the thyroid disease. So the thyroid disease is where you have a certain rule of how you should be, how you feel about yourself, how you are able to express or not express what you really want to, and what actually is happening. So somewhere there is a gap that starts coming up thanks to your personal expectation of a reality and what your actual reality, personal reality is. And in between that too is your personality. Can you now understand how this personality hormone is influencing your life? And that's what we're wanting to decode through the thyroid therapy. So that you'll able to project, you'll be able to understand through this program how your personal reality is in the current scenario, and how your personality is feeding on to your personal reality, because your personal reality started coming from your childhood personality which was formed. So we are looking to explore how it was formed. It can be also influenced sometimes from your past lives, because how those previous lives were and what were the dying thoughts can influence how you think and feel, and what environment as a soul are you making as a choice with your relationship with your parents, and it starts coloring your personality. And then when you grow, that becomes the way you start looking your reality. And then further, it gets translated into your physical reality. The physical reality is the thyroid. So are you able to see the linkage that the thyroid as a reality, which is your physical reality, is influenced by your physical reality with respect to your interpersonal situations, whether it's work or family or social life, which in turn is through your personality, which has been coming from your childhood, or it may come from your previous experiences. Now, if you understood this, we are actually looking at exploring the subconscious mind closely, which means when we work through you or we work with you through this program, we are looking to work with the subconscious mind, which is so closely linked with the body, because the subconscious mind is in charge of the involuntary functions and the biomedical systems. What are the biomedical systems? The circulatory system, the digestive system, your excretory system, your reproductive system, your skeletal system, and everything is influenced by the thyroid hormone, which in turn is actually a part of the entire involuntary function. So the biomedical systems are influenced by involuntary function is circulation, respiration, digestion. When I say involuntary, you can't control it. So the whole body functioning, which is in the charge of the involuntary function. You don't have to tell your respiratory system, chalo, let's breathe. You don't have to tell your digestive system, chalo, stop digesting, right? They are all happening naturally, and they're happening naturally because there is a system intricately connected with all your organs, which is the organs of heart, your stomach, intestine, your kidneys, and they are in turn influenced by the functions of the respiration, circulation, which in turn are thanks to the hormones which are there, the endocrine hormone, and the main one is the thyroid, and they are closely linked with your subconscious because subconscious mind is in charge of the involuntary function. And the subconscious mind is also having experiences. So can you see the direct correlation of how you think, how you feel, how you believe is actually connected to your body? And which is where, if we have to understand the body is also your best buddy, because the body speaks what the mind cannot. And what is mind? Mind is what you think, what you feel, what you believe, and you express. So when you think, feel, and believe, you are actually feeling something. That feeling is thanks to a certain emotion. What is emotion? Energy in motion. Your thought is energy, your emotions are energy. And when you feel something, you're feeling because a certain thought has affected you. And that thought has affected you because that thought is primarily coming through a certain filter of how you are seeing your reality from childhood. Okay? How you see your reality, how you feel your reality, which is your thought and your feeling, is actually the way you are perceiving it. And that starts creating your reality, which is now the way you're feeling and thinking. Now, how many times what you think and what you feel and what you believe are you fully able to express? Not many times, because you have to follow a certain etiquette, maybe socially, or maybe you feel it is not right to say, or sometimes, and many a times, it has been found people with thyroid issues, they are finding it difficult to express, or they cannot be themselves. So when you can't express, and when you can't think, and what you can't express what you think and feel, something gets blocked. When something gets blocked, the energy is getting blocked, because thoughts and feelings and emotions are energy. And when they get blocked, That is a flow which is blocked. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. A blocked energy will now start getting to block the energy flow in the body, which is happening through the energy meridians and the chakras. So when they are flowing and the energy is flowing through those chakras and they are getting blocked, it gets blocked into certain parts of the body. The prana stops flowing through that body part because of the blockage of the energy, and the body starts expressing what the mind cannot. So body is the tangible mind, and the mind is the tangible body. So what the mind cannot speak because it cannot express fully for whatever reason, it's not feeling, it cannot do it. Sometimes the feelings are holding you back. Then it starts expressed at the level of body. And the mind, in other words, is the body, which is the invisible body. There is a mistake. Mind is intangible body. There's an error in typing. So body keeps the score what one experiences. And that's exactly why we're going to decode the thyroid, because decoding the thyroid is freeing you of the coded reality, the program of what are the fixed perception, fixed points of view, fixed belief systems that are limiting you from growing in your life. And the painful thoughts and emotions, because they are limiting you. So obviously they are not giving you a peace. You are feeling not at ease. And when you are not at ease, you feel the pain. And that is disturbing your homeostasis and disrupting the mind-body alignment. So basically, the thyrotherapy is about decoding your thyroid condition to free you of the programs which has been as a result of your fixed perception. And the perception has got grounded in your personality or through the growing years, through all those patterns that you have started thinking and feeling, which in turn makes you feel not good, which it makes you feel angry, which it makes you feel sad, which makes you feel unhappy, which makes you feel fearful, which makes you feel anxious. The moment we explore this, and these are basically now not being understood by you because you feel different from your body, you feel different from who you are. So what we are looking to bring is through the disease, trying to connect you to who you are in your true sense and connecting the dots of all those thought patterns, which may be now there in your system, slowly bringing into where they have come from your branches from the childhood, or maybe sometimes in the intrauterine life, and sometimes even from the past lives. So this is what we're looking to aim, because we understand that our experience is influencing a reality. Our experience is based on our perception. Our perception comes from our emotions, and our emotions are coming from what belief systems that we have. You can make a note of this slide if any of you would want to know. Our experience is influencing your reality. You know how you have felt all the time, every time this happens to me, and those people exactly have the same way. Some people feel everything is easy, that happens easily to them. And perhaps that has come from your perception. How you started looking at reality. When? As a child. And from the childhood, perhaps there are certain feelings that you have developed. Some core emotions that you will see through all and every area of your life. And they also are connected to the core belief. So through the thyrotherapy, we are looking to address all this, or rather to come to your core belief system, core emotions, and decoding all of them, bringing you freedom from all that is, which is not considered as a digested emotion. What is an undigested emotion? Something that you are not at peace with. So let's say if someone, let's one of us have robbed the bank, right? Or we've stolen something from somebody's house. The next day, the bank robbery is done and the newspaper brings it big and loud, and somehow somebody comes to know that you are the one who are the culprit, or somewhere, yet whosoever you have stolen a wallet, gets to know that you are the one who's the thief, which means you know this has to happen because what I did is now I am having the consequence of it. It's logically understood. So if you are taken to behind bars, you will not question it. Am I correct? So an emotion that is explainable, somebody does some harm to you, you will get angry for that moment. But if you continue to feel angry over a period of time, even if the situation has gone past, or you're angry without a reason, even if you have not done anything, or somebody has not done anything to you, then the experience and the emotion that you're carrying has no base. Perhaps that base is coming from a certain undigested emotion or a thought pattern, some conclusion that you have made somewhere across lifetime or in this lifetime. So we are going to kind of get in touch with identifying the core emotion which is undigested, which has a certain way of thinking and feeling, which has got into continuously flowing in your system, blocking the spiritual energy, disturbing the cell metabolism, and bringing the disorder in the functioning. Is this getting clearer? So it's actually dealing with the condition of the body or the disease called as thyroid, right at the cellular level, at the level where it began. And the benefit is that it will slowly help you to go to the source of the development of the disease and free you of that the coded reality or the program that is causing the disease. So this misaligned coded program comes from either within us, it can come outside us, or it can come in between. It can come within us from our childhood programs. As I told you, maybe we are born during the time that we were born, in the family that we are born, we have certain programs, certain way of thinking and feeling, and perhaps it is because coming from some unfinished business from past lives. Sometimes these programs that we have comes from ancestral origin or parents, which is the same, because our parents and our ancestors carried certain thought, emotion patterns, and by default, out of love and loyalty, we take these programs inside us. Which programs? Of how we think and feel. And we start duplicating unconsciously, and that starts becoming our personal reality because that's how you start perceiving it. And once that becomes your personal reality, then it starts giving rise to a certain thought, emotion pattern and resulting into a certain affliction at the body level. Sometimes, very few times, we have these development of these programs from the interlife, which means before you come to life, you have certain thought or a certain learning that you have decided right before entering the mother's womb that this is how the life should be. And that's where it may be coded there. Now, all these things, the programs either from this life or from outside us or interlife, can be very well decoded through the trance. Trance is about taking you into hypnosis. Hypnosis is taking into a hypnotic trance, which is actually accessing the subconscious mind. So in the hypnotherapy that we conduct for this project, we're taking you from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind to decode all these programs, either coming from this life or the past lives, maybe formative years, or maybe even a little beyond before we came to this life in the interlife. So this is what we look forward to when we're talking about the thyrotherapy, to decode the program of the thyroid disease which has got encoded in your system, and we're looking to decode at the level of thought, emotion, energy, including even the body. Just give me one more moment because I would share one more slide to share with you what could be the outcome once this is done. So we are looking to restore health, taking you back from where you are where you are being at ease and well-being, which can only happen because now we know how an undigested emotion causes the blocking of the energy, which is the natural soul energy. So we release the unexpressed emotions. So we help you to really let go or cathartize those emotions, help you to understand and accept what is the current reality that you are not at peace with. So what happens when you have expressed your emotions? If you have cried your heart out, after that you can really see the situation much more clearly, right? Or if you're in the grip of the anger, you can't think clearly, you are very clouded in your thinking. Or if you're in the grip of grief, so once you are freed of the emotions, you are able to accept the situation, there is clear thinking. And with that clear thinking, you're obviously free from the coded reality of the past. You're obviously feeling being yourself, and being yourself is actually the well-being and bringing your vitality to yourself. And the mind-body alignment comes in place, which is being present. What is the outcome? You will definitely start loving yourself. You will be much more beyond focusing on your thyroid disease to what your productivity is in your life, what your role is in your life. And this is where we are looking to have a holistic wellness approach to treating the thyroid through self-expression and productivity. So the ultimate outcome is the mind and body, peace in body, peace in mind, and vice versa. And of course, looking forward to have the thyroid hormones in place, because once the mind is at peace and the source where the mind started, then obviously the body starts showing up. We already have this program ongoing. We have been conducting it for the last 1.5, 2 months. We have almost 6 people who are getting treated, and I would say almost 80% are on their way to recovery. And we just now kind of looking to have more follow-up sessions with them. So thyrotherapy is about 5 therapy sessions minimum. It would be done with a trained therapist. We'll send you the details where you can contact us. All of you are on the group, so I'll share you all the details. And we'll be happy to have each one of you here who'd like to join us on this program. I am Dr. Amita, and my clinic is at Goregaon West. I'm carrying out this holistic wellness venture for many conditions, to start with the thyroid condition. So I have a team of therapists who are here on this program as well, and they are who are going to be joining in this program as being your guiding therapist, and I'll be there as a supervisor therapist for all of them. So I know that they all are very well trained, and there's somebody who are going to take you through these 5 sessions and making sure that every aspect of what we discussed is going to be achieved. And that's how the program is going to go forward. We've kept this program almost only for a period of a limited period, which will be till August end. And we hope that more and more people benefit. And which is where I thought it would be nice to give you an understanding to start looking at your thyroid in a very different manner. And my therapists are here. I would invite each one of them to raise their hand and maybe tell 1 or 2 lines about how they have felt as their experience, and especially what if the clients have joined. I don't know if anybody have joined, then you can share your experience about it. Yes, Hiril?
So my client has not joined in. My experience with my client, I've just finished with one client. I mean, she's had a lot of breakthroughs and is completely, at peace with herself. So now we're just waiting, for another 3 months to see what her reports say, and then we'll have a follow-up session if it's needed.
Nice. Thank you so much, Hiril. Any striking thing that your client found through the therapy? Would you be able to share?
Yeah, so she could actually get down to her core emotion, things which she had suppressed, which she was not even aware probably that, it was not allowing her to think clearly. It was clogging her mind. And she had a lot of releases. So it's changed the way she now looks at things.
And she's feeling already good when it comes to her
Yeah.
body. We're just waiting for
Yes, in fact, she stopped reacting to situations, the way she's responding to things and happening around. That's changed completely.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Hiral. Sangeeta, would you want to share?
Yeah, so even my one of my client is nearly done with therapy, and for him, it's brought in a lot of clarity, like how this works, how the system works. He was pretty surprised, like he did not expect the therapy to go the way it is, but now he can clearly see, make all the connections, like how it started and from where these issues were coming, and he feels quite healed. Yeah, and we have a few more sessions to go by, which he is interested in further doing it. So that's it.
So basically, we could understand the source of the thyroid condition. Am I correct?
Yeah, right.
And many a times it comes even from the ancestral origin. I think one of the client did have that. And
Yeah,
surprise to his surprise, it almost, yes.
yeah.
My
So
client had that. I mean, it came from the ancestral thing.
yeah,
Yes.
And even she was surprised
Yeah.
as to how it,
Can
you
be
know,
there. Yeah.
yes.
That's
true.
lovely.
So even my client had the same experience from the ancestral, and it was very surprising that every whatever therapy we did, like the core issue went to that particular source.
And many of them have like the thyroid issue that I had with one of my client. I mean, that one of the client who was resolved in my private therapy sessions had issues coming from childhood, where she almost felt that she cannot express herself. One of the core emotion many of the thyroid people have, thyroid conditions with, is that they have difficulty in expressing, or there's sense of feeling that they feel they are not enough. And this has been very commonly seen in even other situations wherever I had seen combination of thyroid with diabetes as well. But we are focusing currently right now in thyroid condition. Yes, Chandni would like to share something about your client.
So I have it's still very early in the therapy with my client, but we've been able to come down to a core emotion, which she thought that she was completely over. So consciously, sometimes we think, that we're completely over something, but subconsciously it's still playing and we don't realize it. And that's where this therapy really helps.
Yes. So it's more about getting to know that something unconsciously that has been influencing our body, our mind, and our behavior. And that's what we are aiming to look towards, helping each one of you here to thyrotherapy to really have a holistic approach